Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, today we are unpacking this totally fascinating mystery. We're connecting a plummeting Fortune 500 company to a lawyer who was literally sitting at absolute rock bottom in both his personal and professional life. We're going to explore how one of the simplest habits imaginable completely reversed both of their fortunes. I know, it sounds almost too simple to be true, right? Like, can a $10 box of stationery really save a dying company? Or completely turn around a failing life? Well, we're going to dive into the data, the case studies, and some really cool neuroscience to see exactly how this tiny habit changed absolutely everything for the people we're talking about today. Section 1. The pen that saved Campbell's. Let's kick this off by traveling back to the year 2001, which was a pretty critical moment in corporate history for the Campbell's Soup Company. To really get the scale of this mess, imagine the toxic downward spiral Campbell's was stuck in. Back in the late 90s, they hiked prices, lost customers, and then tried to patch things up by slashing ads and laying off staff. The result? Total disaster. The stock plummeted from $60 a share down to 30. Employees were completely burnt out and jaundiced toward management. So in steps Douglas Conant as the new CEO. He's a self-described introvert, but he realized pretty quickly, you absolutely cannot inspire high performance with zero employee engagement. So he steps way out of his comfort zone. He created a scorecard to hold leaders accountable, sure, but more importantly, he started rebuilding trust manually, intensely focusing on workplace culture. And here's how he did it. He decided to start recognizing employee performance in a highly personal way. Over his 10 years as CEO, Conant handwrote over 30,000 personalized thank you notes to his 20,000 employees. 30,000! He was literally sitting down and writing 10 to 20 of these notes every single day, recognizing folks at all levels of the organization who are crushing it. He understood a really fundamental truth. People don't just need a paycheck to make a living. They need to feel valued. And wow, the results of that manual trust building are just staggering. Take a look at this. On the Gallup Employee Engagement Index, the world-class benchmark for a highly successful company is 12 engaged employees for every 1 disengaged employee. Campbell's ratio didn't just beat that, it absolutely crushed it. Among their top 350 leaders, that ratio hit an insane 77-1. By focusing on the workplace, Campbell's won big in the marketplace too, delivering cumulative shareholder returns that were nearly 5 times the S&P 500 average. Moving on to Section 2, the 365-note turnaround. Because, hey, it's not just massive multi-billion-dollar corporations that benefit from this. Let's step out of the boardroom and look at how gratitude rescued a single personal life. This is John Kralik. John was in his 53rd year, and honestly, things were bleak. His small law firm was failing. He was going through an incredibly painful second divorce. He felt distant from his older kids and was terrified of losing touch with his young daughter. He was living in this tiny apartment that literally froze in the winter, and he was 40 pounds overweight. Just a really dark place. But walking in the hills on New Year's Day, feeling completely desperate, he had a realization. He remembered a simple, beautiful thank you note an ex-girlfriend had sent him for a Christmas gift. And it sparked a thought. What if, instead of dwelling on everything going wrong, he started focusing on what he actually had? Right then and there, he made a crazy commitment. Come what may, he set a goal to write 365 thank you notes in a single year, 1 a day. He decided to write to absolutely anyone who had done him a good turn, no matter how tiny. We're talking coworkers, past business associates, doctors, store clerks, his neighbors, and even people he actually considered enemies. And the transformation, it was almost immediate. Now get this, while he was writing these notes, the economy was actually collapsing. The bank across the street from his office literally went under. But note by note, John's life completely turned around. He saw unexpected financial gains, he rebuilt genuine friendships, he lost the weight, and he finally found profound inner peace. Kralik's story proves that gratitude isn't just about having good manners. It is physically and mentally transformative. Which brings us to Section 3, Rewiring the Anxious Brain. Let's look at the hard biology behind why this actually works. Because yeah, it's not magic that these turnarounds happen for Conant and Kralik. It all comes down to neuroplasticity. This is basically your brain's ability to physically rewire itself and build brand new neural pathways based on your habits. When we practice gratitude consistently, we're essentially hacking our own neuroplasticity to wire our brains for optimism. Brain scans actually show that when we express gratitude, the prefrontal cortex, that's the part managing our emotions, lights up and becomes highly active. Over time, you literally strengthen the pathways linked to positive thoughts while weakening the ones tied to negativity and anxiety. So look at this comparison. The crucial takeaway here is that gratitude physically alters your brain chemistry. On the left, a brain on stress defaults to that classic fight or flight mode, just flooding your system with the stress hormone cortisol. But on the right, a brain on gratitude, that triggers a rush of feel-good chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. It activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which brings on deep relaxation and actually improves your cardiovascular health. You are literally self-medicating with your own biology just by saying thank you. Okay, section 4, building a gratitude system. Let's get to the practical side of things. We know it works for CEOs, we know it works for struggling lawyers, and the science is rock solid. But how do you actually fit this into a crazy busy schedule without feeling completely overwhelmed? Well, a professional organizer named Denise Allen developed this brilliant, super simple 4-step Sunday night routine. On Sunday evening, she sits down and just reviews her upcoming week. Then she pulls out just 2 blank cards and envelopes from her desk. She preps the stamps and addresses them right then and there. Because the friction is completely gone, writing the actual notes on Monday takes her a total of 5 minutes. It's all about setting yourself up for success by removing those tiny roadblocks. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Won't it be kind of awkward if I just send a random note out of the blue? If you're hesitating, look at this quote. Psychological research shows that we consistently and drastically miscalibrate the effect of our appreciation. Senders constantly underestimate how much positive emotion a thank you note will bring, while the person receiving it rates their happiness way, way higher than the sender ever expected. So seriously, don't let the fear of being a little awkward stop you from making someone's day. All right, section 5, what do I write? Let's figure out what actually goes in these notes. So you've got the pen, the card, you know the neuroscience, and you have your Sunday night system ready to rock. But when you sit down on Monday morning, what on earth do you say? The good news is, these don't need to be long, complex essays. As these tips from the workplace culture experts at Evergreen highlight, keeping it short and sweet is totally fine. The absolute secret sauce is just being specific about their impact. Focus on the why. Why are you thankful for them? What did they do that made your life just a little bit easier? Here's a fantastic, ready-to-go template for the workplace. It reads, "Thank you for going above and beyond to make this project happen. Your efforts did not go unnoticed. While it's never expected, it's always appreciated." Think about how awesome it would feel to get that from a boss or a colleague. It proves that acknowledging hard work in a specific, documented way goes such an incredibly long way toward building a positive team culture. And I love this one. This is a perfect example of a just because template. You don't even need a big finished project or a special occasion to send a note. I just wanted to pop in and say thank you, the work you do is incredibly valuable to the team, and we're always grateful. Boom. Simple. This is exactly the kind of proactive leadership Douglas Conant used at Campbell's. You don't always need to hand out massive bonuses to make people feel seen. You just need to acknowledge their intrinsic value to the team. So what does this all mean for us? The science is undeniably clear. Gratitude literally rewires our brains for the better, heals our bodies, and transforms our relationships. You've got the templates, and the friction is gone. So as we wrap up this explainer, I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to carry into your week. Whose day, and ultimately, whose life could you change today with just a simple 5-minute handwritten note?